Oh, do we have sound now? Oh, I just went 5 minutes and it was so good. Vincent, let me know, do I have sound? I'd be grateful. You gotta love technology until it doesn't work. I'm hoping there's sound. I think there should be sound. Can somebody drop something in here to let me know there's sound? All right, well, I'm gonna keep talking, and I'm gonna hope that y'all can hear me. If not, this message is for me to hear, and I'm okay with that. So I was talking about the fact that your mindset dictates your outcomes in life, in business, in health, in relationships. What happens between your ears, that little war, that ping pong back and forth. Yes, Vincent, thank you. We have sound now. Thank you so much for letting me know. I would have talked for half an hour, and that would have been funny. But anywho, that little ping pong between you and yourself, you are in your mind. It is a war between you. And the reason you don't have the outcomes that you're looking for is because you negotiate with them. So what I would love you to do right now is drop in the chat. If you want to DM me, whatever you want to do, I want to know what you're done negotiating with. Thank you, Vincent. I want to know what you're done negotiating with. Is it your health? Is it your finances? Is it your relationship? Is it your marriage? Is it your career? Is it the guest experience? What are you done negotiating with? Drop it in the chat. Because here's the thing, that little negotiation, as I mentioned, is a little war between you and your mind. And y'all, it's exhausting. It is so much easier to make a decision, a choice, and move forward than it is to hum and haw over whether you should or you shouldn't, whether you feel like it or you don't feel like it. It is better to take the risk. It is better to make a decision and choose. And even if you choose wrong, than to keep negotiating with yourself. Because here's the thing, y'all, here's a little secret. You ready for this? If you choose wrong and it's not the right direction, guess what you get to do? You get to choose again. So there's truly no high stakes decisions on your daily basis that you have to make, and you can free yourself of overwhelm, of anxiety. You can free yourself of fear if you just stopped those negotiations with yourself. I call this the choice cycle. Yes, I am looking at notes. I have made notes for y'all because this is really important. Your mindset dictates everything. What you feel, and I want you to write this down if you're listening because this is really important. What you feel is a result of what you think. It's not the other way around. It's impossible to feel happy feelings and think negative thoughts. It is impossible to be unhappy. Impossible. Clearly, I need more coffee. It is impossible to feel sad and think happy thoughts. So when you are negotiating with yourself, you are at war with yourself and you're feeling things like anxiety and overwhelm, insecurity, doubt, self-doubt. You're feeling these feelings. If you were just to get curious just for a second and uncovered what you were thinking and then created a bridge thought, a thought that takes you from the negative to a more positive outlook, you would take yourself off what I like to call the choice cycle, which is the war between you and your mind. The choice cycle is a little bit of an abuse cycle, and I don't use that word lightly, but it is a little bit of an abuse cycle that you put yourselves through. Now, I know that's a bit of a harsh word. You might be saying, I don't abuse myself. I don't do that. Well, the reality is you do, whether it's with your health, your finances, your marriage, your relationships, or your career. You negotiate with yourself every day, which puts your nervous system into fight or flight 24/7, which makes you feel stuck. Does anybody here feel stuck? Then you ping pong your way back from should I Shouldn't I? Right back to shouldn't I? Or should I? And as I mentioned, the beauty is you get to choose again. So this mindset that you hold going into 2026. I mean, we are 2 weeks in, and I know that everyone watching is negotiating with their New Year's resolutions. I know everyone at this moment is rounding that corner of, do I continue to go to the gym? Do I continue to have those huddles that I put into place at the dealership or at my business? Do I continue to have those hard conversations with my employees? Do I really want to find the guest name every single time and use it? Do I really, today is okay if I don't. Whatever is the goal that you set going into the new year, we are rounding that corner right now where you start to negotiate with your outcome. And I want you to stop. Drop in the chat. Let me know, what are you negotiating with? That mindset, your thoughts will dictate your outcome. So here's an example I want to give you. If I were to hold an orange right here, right in front of you, and we were to squeeze it, if you had an orange in your hand and it could be peeled, because when I share this example, everyone's like, well, is the orange peeled? Yes, okay, the orange is peeled. But if you were to squeeze that orange really hard, what is going to come out of that orange? Orange juice. What won't come out of it is lemon juice, grapefruit juice, apple juice. Orange juice comes out of an orange because that is what is inside the orange. Now, you might be thinking, Katie, what the heck? What are we talking about? Well, let's take it one step further. When you are ultimately squeezed, heck, you've probably been squeezed before this call, before you jumped on. When you are ultimately squeezed, what comes out of you? You are going to be squeezed in 2026. You've already been squeezed. You're already negotiating, ping-ponging back and forth about whether or not you're too tired or if you have enough time to get to the gym, to execute on what your New Year's resolution is. And it's usually a personal one. It's usually that you want to be healthier, you want to be fitter, you want to have better conversations, you want to get up at 5 in the morning and join the 5 a.m. club and read one book a week and work out before the sun rises and write all the gratitude lists and add more things into your life. And you're being squeezed right now because the lull of the holidays is over and life is back to regular programming. When you are squeezed, what comes out? I was with a group of humans at Toyota of Sunnyvale, actually, not too long ago. And we had this conversation with their leaders. I asked them, when you're squeezed, what comes out of you? And they all answered anxiety, overwhelm. They answered exhaustion. They answered short-tempered. And I said, okay, so if that's what comes out of you and you are leading your team and you expect your team to provide an elevated experience that's full of ease and calm and kindness and compassion and connectedness for your customers, but when you're squeezed, you're short-tempered, what are you teaching your team? That it's okay. You have to manage your mind. You have to, what I like to call, you want to bring in the C qualities. So you want to bring in a sense of calmness internally. You want to bring in a sense of courage, of compassion, of confidence. These C qualities are good feeling emotions. And when you are feeling good on the inside and you are squeezed, what comes out? I'm going to tell you the story yesterday. I was at a gas station and I go to fill up gas and I'm like down because I'm one of those girls that drive the tank right till the very end. And that's why I can never own an EV, because I would have range anxiety up the yin yang. Anywho, I'm at the gas station and I go to put the nozzle into the gas tank. And the little silver flap, I know I work in the industry, I do not know the names, but the little silver flap thing is stuck. I couldn't fill it up with gas. So I'm sitting in my car and I'm a single mom of 3 and I'm going, "Oh my gosh, I have my daughter at tennis on the other side of the city. My son needs to be picked up. What am I going to do? He's on one side of the city and then my little one needs to be picked up. And I have no gas. It was 5:30 in the evening. The mechanic shop that I normally go to was closed. Old Katie, that was worked up, overwhelmed because of the wars I used to go through and used to negotiate within my mind, old Katie would have freaked out. Old Katie would have, when I was squeezed, which I was last night, trust me, I was. The story gets better. I was able to breathe through it and say, it is okay. I was just across the street from my house, thankfully. So I drove my car home, and I think I have just enough gas to get the car to the mechanic today. We did receive like 3 feet of snow today, so that should be an interesting ride. Anywho, I called Enterprise. I got a car. I got into an Uber. I'm halfway to Enterprise, and I forgot my credit card in the door. Again, squeezed again, and I didn't freak out. And the reason I tell you this story is because it's all mindset. I kept telling myself, I'm so grateful I have the money to rent a car. I'm so grateful I have the money to get an Uber. I'm so grateful that I'm right across the street from my house and I have just enough gas to get this car to the mechanic tomorrow. And then I started thinking, wow, there must be a reason I shouldn't be on the road in this vehicle tonight. That mindset, that calmness, that ease, that choice allowed me to move through an obstacle without negotiating with myself and falling apart. So, what is on the inside comes out externally, and it's what other people around you receive from you. It is what you experience. I believe that your life is a complete accumulation of your thoughts and your choices. And where you are right now is because of everything you've chosen to do or not do. And I believe that what you see is up to you. What I see is up to me, and you experience your world the way you see your world. And when we see our world in chaos, when we see our world through anxiety, when we see our world in this I have to versus I get to mentality, when the world squeezes us, because it ultimately will, our whole lives spiral. Again, you might be thinking this is a CX show. Why are we talking about this? Well, when you get to work and you've been squeezed and you have an I have to mentality, you have a mindset of, oh, I have to be here today amongst everything else that I've got going on. You start to negotiate with your customer's experience because you don't feel like doing or practicing the process that is put in place in order to elevate it. And if you are a leader, and by the way, I think we're all leaders, we do not need to have the title. We can lead from anywhere in the room because everybody is watching all the time. Monkey see, monkey do. And we have a 6-foot radius of energy around us, y'all. And if you're in a bad mood and you've got some yuckiness rolling around inside you, you are actually omitting 6 feet worth of cortisol. And that 6 feet pocket, that 6-foot pocket, that cortisol, if anybody's within that 6-foot pocket, they absorb your cortisol. And so the way you show up impacts your team. And then your team impacts the experience that your guests provide or gets given, and the experience that your team provides. Mindset. Everything is mindset. Whether you're trying to reach a financial goal, whether you are trying to elevate the experience. Heck, I have been told so many times in the last 3 months that we have to get our priorities straight, and we don't know if we can focus on the guest experience, which is fine with me because now's non-negotiable ventures only works with those who are ready to stop negotiating with their future self, with their future success and the experience of their customers. But I feel bad because the most important thing is the customer, because without the customer, you don't have a roof over your head, food on the table, clothing on your back, and you don't get to enjoy the life that you have. Mindset. Do you see the customer as the most important, valuable asset of your business? And if you did, you'd stop negotiating with the experience you provided and you'd start to step up and have a 5-star mindset. So that's what I want to leave with you today. I want you to leave knowing that you can step back into your power. You can break that choice cycle. You can stop negotiating with the experiences you provide your guests or with the results that you are looking for. You do not need to be a quitter, and you can stop that negotiation. But here's the one thing: the way you do one thing is the way you do all things. And your emotional state, my friends, your emotional state is going to dictate the outcomes that you have. So if you're going to do anything today, tomorrow, for the next week, heck, if you're going to pivot on your goals that you've made, do this thing. Fix what's going on inside. Check your mindset. Look in the mirror and look at what is happening in your life, the way your team shows up, the results on Google or on Yelp or your OEM surveys. Take a look at what people are saying and then take a look internally, because all the answers are here. When we work with organizations, it's not the process, although it's brilliant, the process that we put you through and the non-negotiable standards you develop, but it's not the process that makes a dealership successful. It's not a process that makes the company successful. It's the transformation of the mindset. So when we work with organizations, we transform that mindset. The 5 steps to a 5-star experience isn't possible to execute without a 5-star mindset. You have to be maniacal about the little things, and you have to do the things you do not feel like doing consistently in order to have that 5-star experience for your employees and for your guests. So take that away with you. Manage your mind, because your thoughts, your mind dictates your emotions. Your emotions dictate your actions. And if you want action towards the goal that you want to take, the goal that you want to achieve, then it starts between your ears. I would be amiss to tell you something that I'm very excited about. NADA is coming up. Y'all, I hope to see you there. If I see you, stop me. Let's take a selfie. Say hello. I want to meet you. But we are doing some incredible book signings. I have a new book coming out, 5 Steps to a 5-Star Experience, that's going to help you with your mindset, but also it is a 94-page handbook on everything you need to know in order to deliver a fabulous experience for your customers. And I will be doing some book signings. So pay attention to LinkedIn. You're going to see all the different booths that we're at. I'm doing an interview with Rocked. I'm very excited about that. I am also doing, as I said, at these 2 booths, 3 booths, and I'm going to drop them in the comments after this so I can get the exact booth numbers, because I actually don't have that written down. So I'm going to get all of that in here and come by and get a free book and start managing your mind so that you can have that 5-star mindset. But also, we are doing a champagne pop-up for the ladies, and I am very excited. I'm going to drop in a link in the comments as well for Now Rising. Gentlemen, if you're on here and you have women that are ready to rise and you want to give back to the women in your dealerships and in your business, heck, maybe your wife or your daughter or any woman you know that needs a little boost, that needs that transformation in her mindset and in her nervous system to be able to put her hand up and take a risk, then you want to check out Now Rising. That community launches today, and I'm so excited, but there's still time to join. We can join at any time, and it's $29.95 a month. It's a no-brainer. So I'm going to drop those links in, and I'm going to thank you for being here. And if you are here and you are listening and you hear the replay or you're here on live, just know that every single day you have a choice. You have a choice to rise. You have a choice to stop negotiating. You have a choice to look at your life as I get to do this versus I have to. And that choice is yours. I hope you all have an incredible rest of your 2026 in January. the start to your 2026, I should say. And I hope that that negotiation becomes less and less and you feel more and more joy. Have a great day, y'all.